Have you ever wondered why certain video games have a special place in your heart? Everyone has at least one that created unforgettable memories and left a lasting impact on their lives. To me, one such game is Grim Fandango. Join me as I try to unravel the unique blend of its captivating story and unforgettable characters, and maybe answer the question, why is Grim Fandango so special for me? But first, a bit of history. Grim Fandango was developed by LucasArts and released back in 1998. It was directed by Tim Schafer, a name that should resonate with any adventure game enthusiast, thanks to his work on games such as The Secret of Monkey Island 2, LeChuck's Revenge, Day of the Tentacle, or Full Throttle. Grim Fandango was born out of Schafer's fascination with film noir and Mexican folklore. He envisioned a world inspired by the Day of the Dead, where characters resembled calaca figures, skeletal representations of the deceased. However, the developers made sure that this would not just be another point-and-click game. Instead of using their traditional 2D style, they developed a whole new 3D engine that was uniquely designed to suit the needs of the game. Programmers and artists worked tirelessly to bring Schafer's vision to life, overcoming the technical hurdles along the way. And the result? Well...
Buenos días. Everybody here is just as dead as you. That's why we call it the land of the dead. I could have walked faster than this. Híjole, I'm gonna miss the poisoning.
If you haven't bagged a premium before the next sales report comes in, you're out!
Guess they couldn't save me, huh?
No, but there's still a chance you could save me.
Manuel, are you in love with her?
Love? Love is for the living, Sal. I'm only after her for one reason. She's my ticket out of here.
At its core, Grim Fandango is an adventure game, which means the usual things: exploration, dialogue, puzzle solving. But what sets it apart, in my opinion, is its unique look, setting, and story. Throughout this video, the footage you will see will be from the 2015 Remastered edition of the game, which introduced some updates, like mouse control, updated textures and lighting effects, and a fully re-recorded orchestra version of the game's soundtrack. And also, it's impossible to talk about this game without bringing up some story elements and characters, but don't worry, I'll put up a spoiler warning when we get there. Let's dive back in.
You know, sweetheart, if there's one thing I've learned, it's this. Nobody knows what's gonna happen at the end of the line, so you might as well enjoy the trip.
I think the first thing we have to talk about is something that immediately grabs your attention when you look at Grim Fandango, and that is its striking art style. The game beautifully blends elements of Mexican folklore with classic film noir, creating a visually stunning world. As I said before, the character designs are inspired by calacas, the skeletal figures associated with the Day of the Dead, while the environments are a gorgeous mix of Art Deco and noir aesthetics. As you can hopefully see, the Land of the Dead is beautifully designed, with each area offering a distinct atmosphere. From the bustling El Mero to the eerie petrified forest and the glamorous Rubacava, the environments are richly detailed and immersive. Grim Fandango also isn't afraid to embrace the surreal. There are moments in the game that are visually abstract, adding some dreamlike quality to the experience. These artistic choices make the game feel like a living piece of art, constantly surprising players with new visual delights. The developers created a truly visually stunning experience that, in my humble opinion, remains unmatched to this day. Not only does this game have stunning visuals, but the soundtrack is also amazing, and it elevates the experience to a whole another level. I mean, just listen to it. Composed by Peter McConnell, the soundtrack of Grim Fandango is a masterpiece in itself. It blends traditional Mexican music with jazz and big band instruments, perfectly capturing the game's mood and enhancing the atmosphere. Each location in Grim Fandango has its own unique musical theme, making them feel distinct. For example, the city of El Mero features a jazzy big band sound that perfectly evokes the feeling of the 1930s urban life. Contrast this with the Petrified Forest, where the music takes on a more mysterious and haunting tone. The soundtrack here features slow, melancholic melodies that highlight the eerie beauty of this location. Then there's Rubacava, a city that comes alive with the sounds of Latin jazz and big band, making players feel like they are in a buzzing city full of intrigue. These compositions are more than just background music. They are an integral part of the game's identity, coloring in the Land of the Dead in a way that very few soundtracks can. Whether it's the jazzy beats of El Mero, or the haunting melodies of the Petrified Forest, or the lovely rhythms of Rubacava, Grim Fandango's soundtrack is one of the reasons that this game is so unforgettable for me. Sadly, Grim Fandango is a game that is not just memorable for its unique look and incredible soundtrack, but also for its challenging and inventive puzzles.
Me and Shaq $5.
Yeah, even I can admit that while this game is incredible on some fronts, it has some very perplexing puzzles. Playing Grim Fandango sometimes requires you to think outside the box. Except in this case, the box itself is a 4D puzzle, and it's floating in another universe, and it's missing a piece, and it somehow involves a talking skeleton. Some puzzles can be difficult because of the lack of clear direction, some require about 800 steps, and some clues and items are easy to miss due to the game's fixed camera angles. In a typical adventure game style, you often find yourself in a cycle of not knowing what to do, testing every item with every character and object in hopes of triggering something new. But even the simple task of using the items can be a pain in the back, because while the game's inventory system lets you carry everything from sides to bread, scrolling through every item one by one can get a little bit frustrating. In my opinion, it is perfectly fine to peek at a guide while playing Grim Fandango. Think of it as getting a map to the Land of the Dead. The real treasure is the story, and it's worth every twist, turn, and talking skeleton. Now that we know that the game looks great, sounds great, and makes your brain work in overdrive, it's time that we talk about the thing that truly makes this game special for me, the story and its characters. In this world, deceased individuals find themselves in the Land of the Dead, where their souls embark on a journey towards the ninth underworld, their final resting place. Our protagonist is a Grim Reaper named Manuel Meni Calavera, cynical yet hopeful, word-weary yet determined. Him and other Reapers work as travel agents for the Department of Death, where they evaluate your past life not by how much money you made, but rather the quality of it. Now this is the time for the big spoiler warning, as I will go through most of the major plot points of the game. Go to this timestamp to skip the spoiler talk, okay? Here we go. Depending on how good of a person you were, you can qualify for all sorts of different travel packages to the Land of Eternal Rest, also known as the Ninth Underworld. The best of the best, the cream of the crop, get a first-class train ticket on the coveted number 9. That takes you straight to paradise. And the less fortunate, well, they get a walking stick. While Manny is our hero in the story, we must mention the supporting cast in Grim Fandango because they are not mere side notes to Manny's story. Grim Fandango is filled to the brim with some of the most interesting and fun characters I have ever seen in this genre. Blates, Manny's demon chauffeur, Domino Hurley, Manny's rival, Salvador Limones, the leader of the resistance, Hector Lemon, the menacing crime lord, Robert Frost, the famous poet.
Run, you pigeons! It's Robert Frost!
Huh. And how could I forget my boy, Toto Santos? Sorry. Every major or just minor figure is uniquely crafted and memorable, no small thanks to the voice actors and their outstanding performances.
Where do they get these guys? They don't qualify for anything good, so I can't sell anything good. I can't work off my time, and I'm stuck.
Manny, until now we scraped along the ground like rats. But from now on, we soar. Like eagles. Like eagles on pogo sticks!
Are you sure you're Mercedes Colomar?
Yes. Would you like to see my birthmark?
Sure. Where is it?
It's wherever you guys put my skin.
Our boy Manny is in a tough spot. He has to work off a debt for something he has done in his previous life, but he keeps getting low-quality clients who only qualify for the basic travel packages, while his co-worker Domino gets all the best clients for himself. On one fateful day of the dead, Manny decides he has finally had enough and he steals a client directly from Domino, who turns out to be Miss Mercedes Meche Colomar, a spotless soul wrongly condemned to a dangerous journey. When Manny goes to his boss to ask some questions, Meche starts the long walk on foot by herself. Manny's boss Don Copal uses this as a reason to detain Manny. However, Salvador Sal Limones, the leader of the LSA, the Lost Souls Alliance, frees Manny and informs him that Domino and Don have been manipulating the system to withhold double-end tickets from clients, keeping them for Hector LeMond, the criminal kingpin. Hector then sells these tickets at an extremely high price to those who can afford them. Determined to uncover the truth, Manny embarks on a journey of his own, to find Meche, a journey that is filled with personal growth as he evolves from a self-serving salesman to a selfless hero, evidenced by the fact that Manny risks everything to find her. Their relationship is the emotional core of the story, driving Manny to confront the corruption within the Department of Death and redeem himself. Manny, Glottis, and their trusty steed, known as the Bone Wagon, travel through the petrified forest into the mystical Rubacava. In Rubacava, Manny becomes the owner of a nightclub, where he reunites with Meche. However, their reunion is short-lived, as she leaves on the SS Lambada with Manny's former co-worker and rival, Domino. When Manny tries to stop them, Meche herself stops him by throwing a bottle at him, making Manny lose her once again. A potential ally named Olivia Ofrenda, who owns the Blue Casket nightclub, reveals to Manny that Don Copal has been sprouted for letting them escape. In this game, sprouting is used to permanently kill characters in the Land of the Dead. This process involves shooting them with a special dart that causes flowers to rapidly grow and sprout from their bodies, effectively ending their afterlife. This concept serves as a clever analogy to the phrase pushing up daisies, a euphemism for death. In both the game and the real-world expression, flowers symbolize the end of life, but sprouting in Grim Fandango humorously depicts this idea, reinforcing the game's unique blend of dark humor and morbid themes. Anyways, upon learning that the ship was bound for Puerto Zapato, Manny pursues them, managing to board the departing ship as a janitor. A year later, Manny tracks them to a coral mining plant on the edge of the world, where Domino has been holding Meche as a trap to lure out Manny. What's even worse, that all of Domino's past clients who had their tickets stolen are being held here and used as slave labor. After rescuing Meche and defeating Domino by turning him into bone dust, Manny, along with Meche, Glottis, and a couple of others, escape from the edge of the world. They travel for another year until they reach the gates of the number 9 train. The gatekeeper to the 9th underworld won't let souls progress without their tickets. In fact, any soul that has either not paid off their debt or tries to cheat the gatekeeper with a fake or stolen double-end ticket goes straight to hell. After saving Glottis from his deathly illness caused by the lack of high speeds, Manny and the crew travels back to Rubacava, saving the Bone Wagon in the process. They return to El Maro, which is now completely under Hector's control and has been renamed to Nuevo Maro. Manny reunites with Cell and the Lost Souls Alliance thanks to the assistance of Olivia, who had previously volunteered to join their cause in Rubacava. Further investigation uncovers that Hector has not only been hoarding the number 9 tickets, but also creating and selling counterfeit ones. Manny attempts to confront Hector, but falls into a trap set by Olivia, who is revealed to be Hector's girlfriend. She also captures the head of the LSA, pun intended, and takes Manny to Hector's greenhouse to be sprouted. After Cell sacrifices himself to stop Olivia from interfering, Manny manages to defeat Hector in a rather explodey way. Manny and Meche locate the real double-end tickets, including the one Meche was supposed to receive. Manny ensures that the remaining tickets are returned to their rightful owners, earning his own ticket for his good deeds. Manny and Meche then board the number 9 train, embarking on their happy journey to the 9th underworld, while our friends wave a tearful farewell. I mean, what should I say here? Even though I skipped a lot of plot points, puzzles and characters, hopefully you can see that Grim Fandango's story is a remarkable tale. It evokes a wide range of emotions, from the thrill of uncovering conspiracies to the warmth of unexpected friendships or the sorrow of sacrifice. Yeah, some puzzles are a pain in the brain, the controls are not perfect, especially if you're using the original tank controls. It has some gameplay quirks, but trust me when I say it's one of the most unique experiences you can have with the genre, and you will be completely captured by the world, the characters, and the story. And now, it's time to finally turn back to the question that I asked in the beginning of this video. Why is Grim Fandango so special for me? Unlike most people who love this game, I have no strong feelings of nostalgia for it, because it became a part of my life somewhat recently, during a not-so-happy period of it. Life is full of unexpected twists and turns, and sometimes we find solace in the most unexpected places. For me, that place was Grim Fandango. Manny's perseverance, his refusal to give up, reminded me that it's okay to struggle, to grieve, and to find your way, one small step at a time. In the end, Grim Fandango was more than just a game for me. It was a source of comfort. It helped me understand that every end is just a new beginning, that even when we face loss, we can find purpose and meaning. So, if you ever find yourself lost, dealing with grief, or just in need of a comforting presence, I highly recommend that you give Grim Fandango a try. It might just help you navigate your own journey, just as it did with mine. Thank you for watching.
We may have years, we may have hours, but sooner or later, we push up flowers.